The only reason I'm here is 'cause to the soul.
Hi, I'm Jaimee Harris, and I'm here with Mood Media and Austin Music Foundation for Mood Live.
Forever guessing.
A lot of times, the reason I'm sitting down to write is because I'm going through something personal, and I feel like whatever it is, whether it's difficult or whether it's an intense joy that I feel like I need to release, writing helps me to process what I'm feeling and put it down. And I like the idea that I have to say what I want to say in 3 verses and a chorus and maybe a bridge. I have to process what I'm feeling and get it down on paper.
We're standing outside.
We started making this record in April of 2016 with Craig Ross. Craig has worked on many records with Patty Griffin. He's also worked with Spoon, and he's been a member of the Austin music community since the 90s. And it was really cool working with Craig because after 18 years of playing but not having a record, I really wanted to make a full-length record. Like with the way that everything's going digitally, I'm sure because of my genre I'll make another record, but it seemed cool to take the opportunity to give people a reason to listen from beginning to end. And what that meant was one of the songs that we wrote for the record actually was written in the studio, and one of the last songs that was written about a month before we finished it. And during the whole process of making that record, of course, my friend Jimmy Lefebvre was diagnosed with terminal cancer, which was mostly a secret for quite some time, and George Reef, who was a great friend of Craig Ross's, was also diagnosed with terminal cancer. So we were working on this really heavy material during kind of a period of intense grief as well. And so to get these songs out in the world is kind of like not only a snapshot in time of like what I was feeling and things that kind of had in my life led me to making the record, like the songs about depression and addiction and why it took me so long to come up with the songs. So I'm really proud of it. And the artwork was designed by Backstage Design, Sarah and Shauna Dodds, who've been nominated for 3 Grammys and won 2 Grammys. So the whole thing, from beginning to end, is supposed to be a piece of art.
They ended in explosions, consequences.
I think that I'm my most creative and my most self when I'm in the studio. When I get to sing background vocals on other people's projects, I get to experiment with lots of different types of music, and I get to use my voice in lots of different ways that I wouldn't necessarily incorporate into my own writing. Like I've done some stuff that's similar to Great Gig in the Sky on other people's records, which is not something I feel like would serve any of my songs, but it's really fun to be able to do that on other people's records and to work with different producers like Gurf Morlix and Mark Hallman, who've made all these records that I truly love. To be working under their supervision in the studio is like mind-blowing.
Skin the text.
In 2009, I was working with another artist who was also working with a local producer that I love named Brian Douglas Phillips. And Brian had kind of convinced David to move here, and then I kind of followed. But what really sealed the deal for me was this guy was preaching to me at this bar for like 2 hours why I should move to Austin instead, like acknowledging that a lot of my songwriting heroes live here, which is true. Like Eliza Gilkison and Patty Griffin and Michael Fracasso and Jimmy Lefebvre and all these people that in some ways I've gotten to work with. And but he said there's a club down the street where James McMurtry plays twice a week for less than $10, and that's what made me pack up my car and move down here 5 days a week. There's so many incredible songwriters here, great live bands too, because I'm such a live music fan that I like that I can go see 10 shows a day if I want. But I think the magic is in the fact that everyone is so willing to collaborate. I think that's unique to this community. Well, Eliza Gilkison always, supreme hero. I love, love, love. I also love Ray Bonneville, and he's about to put out a new record. Jane Ellen Bryant, she's my roommate and one of my favorites. And of course Bonnie Whitmore, who's also about to put out a new record. And I'm actually really digging the new Johnny Gowdy record, which is going to come out later this year, and stoked that I've actually have a co-write on the Bonnie Whitmore record and the Johnny Gowdy record. So it made me feel like a real writer because that's the first time that's happened. But I also love Los Coast. There are too many bands to mention. I could go on forever and ever and ever.
Rivers, canyons, prison doors, and I believe it travels on.